All right. Okay.
All right, Riverside, let's get it together.
Let's do this.
We are talking about episode 20 of season 2 of Pretty Little Liars. We are Liars podcast. I'm Les.
And I'm Michelle. Hi.
Yeah, we're talking about this. I thought this was a fun, good episode.
This
What'd you
is
think?
such a good episode. We are virtual tonight, but I watched it in bed. I got cozy with Niles.
So good. Same.
We had our Discord chat going, and I was just squealing. It was so intense. I was stressed. I was stressed out.
You were not alone.
Yeah.
Our listeners are like, okay, I'm panicking here. What is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. So the episode title was Control A, aired February 13th of 2012, written by Joseph Doherty and Elijah Baraz, and directed by Ron Lagomarsino. So Hanna's worst nightmare comes to fruition when Caleb becomes a target of A and his computer is in the possession of the cops. Aria learns what Holden has been keeping secret. So we got some reveals.
Yeah, we did. It was good.
Yeah, and I teased in the Discord chat, from now until the end of the season, we will be getting some more stuff in each episode. You know, last week was Jason and the brother situation, and now we have Holden's secret, and you know, we're getting there to the end of the season, so we got to keep people interested.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job. And I love because in this episode, Aria tells Spencer that it's been a week. So we got some confirmation that it's been a week.
We get a little bit of a timeline.
Timeline here, yeah, which is always fuzzy. But we'll start with Emily. I feel like in these last few episodes, I've had littler and littler paragraphs for her, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well,
it hasn't really been Emily heavy. So what are you going to do?
But it's also like, when is it going to be Emily heavy? Like, when is going to be her time?
Well, I feel like she had like a batch of heavy episodes. She was tortured. And now we see her back on the swim team, which is great. But that's really all that's going on. And then we have to wrap up this Maya stuff. But take it away, Liz.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure next week they say how swim is like over for this season. So she got back on the team and then the season ended.
What?
I could be making that up, but if my memory is correct, I feel like we talk about swimming ending. Anyway, she's back on the team thanks to Mona, and the school is celebrating their win. I guess, you know, she's still coming in with her good time. Apparently Paige is also doing really well. We get a mention of Paige.
Paige went off like a rocket. And I hope your mom caught it on video. I'm just saying, why wasn't Paige at the party? But
why wasn't Paige at the party?
I love a little reference back to her. My girl Paige. You know, I'm over here rooting for Paige.
Well, because Maya's looking real bad in this episode.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
She comes to the meet to congratulate Emily. She's made her this like really cute, sweet sign. And immediately in the Discord, I was like, guys, where did she go though? She's gone. She's like, yeah, so I thought it was corny, but I did it anyway. And Emily's like, I love it. And then the girls come over and Maya is like, she was never in the scene. It was like she just disappeared out of thin air. She's a witch. And Emily talks about how the Marins are so sweet enough to hold a celebratory victory party at their house so that the girls from the swim team can come over and celebrate. It was nice. And so she shows up before the party and Emily is surprised to see her there. And she's like, I need to talk to you because my parents found an old, dusty, crunchy joint from before True North, and now they're threatening to send me back there. I'm really afraid. I don't really know what to do. I can't go back there. And so Emily is like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll explain to your parents. Like, we'll be fine, right? And so at the party, Maya is really keeping to herself. She's frustrated about her parents' situation. And at first, like, you feel badly that she's now being punished for something that she apparently didn't do. And then it seems as though she kind of feels left out by Emily and her friends, or like she tells Emily that you know, you have this social circle and I don't fit in, even though I pretend like it doesn't bother me. It does. And Emily catches her with a very fresh joint. And so now Maya has to explain, like, yeah, it was old, but not as old as I said it was. Like, she really was like, her and Aria were really good liars in this episode. I was like, wow, really girls.
Good. Yeah, but then Maya shifts to, I have friends in San Francisco. Come with me. Like, she needs to run off. So is True North a school? like Paris Hilton attended.
You know, funny that you referenced that because I'm trying to understand as well what is going on at this type of program.
Right.
I think it's probably I think it's maybe, I don't know, like a conversion camp. I don't know what's going on over there. But she obviously had a really awful time and will not go back. So she tells Emily, I have friends in California. As you said, everyone has friends in California. Everyone's going to California.
It's just the way she said it. She was just like, I have friends in San Francisco. You won't leave your friends and family. And you won't leave for me.
It's so funny because this actress, Bianca Lawson, who's been in, I mean, everything under the sun since the 90s, right? I think that's just her tone of voice. Like when she just gets soft.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like it's always like these, she just reminds me of like, was she in the Vampire Diaries? She was. Like, she just reminds me of like, she's like a witch and like she's got like this like magic to her. And she's very like, you're like entranced in what she's saying. And yeah, she's whispering like, I have friends in California. You can come with me. We can be together. And Emily's like, I can't do that. Even though she could. She very well could. She doesn't want to.
Not really, though. I don't think her parents would allow her to do that.
No, they wouldn't.
Go off with Maya to go to San Francisco. What are we doing? We are minors. What are we doing? We're still in high school. I have questions, Maya. We don't know who your ex was. Also, we saw you talking to Jason. What is happening?
You're right.
Maya, did you purchase from Jason? Is that where you got your grass? Even though I'm like done with her, as we all know, that this episode like solidified like how much I just don't enjoy this character, and it's nothing against Bianca. She's acting it beautifully. She's annoying
she's acting
me.
Exactly how she was supposed to.
Yeah. But I have questions that I need answers to. And I don't know if I get them.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of our listeners want to know what you think is going to happen with the situation. Kate has added, are we supposed to even like Maya at this point? Like what the storyline of what's happening, it almost feels like it's maybe a little bit of like character assassination, like, we don't have enough time for her, so we're just going to like completely throw this storyline out the window, and it's just going to be really frustrating for the audience to watch. And now it's like, well, okay, so Maya's just going to go to California? Right. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, part of me thought maybe that she's on the island now. Like, that's it. Because they very much could have shipped her off. And is she on the island?
Yes.
You say that with, like, hesitation.
I will tell you, yeah, she's on the island. We reference her again, but the actress is on the island.
Physically, she's on the island.
Physically.
Okay. I feel I'm getting some mixed signals here.
Really?
I am. Yes. I feel like this is not, like, last week when Kate came up, stepsister Kate, and you're like, she's on the island. It was
because like
it's okay. It's okay. But
I will tell you, the actress is on the island. She's
on
the island.
Does someone else come back and play Maya?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
That would be wild.
That would be wild.
That would be wild.
That would be interesting.
Okay, that being said, do we find out who her ex was? And do we find out why she was talking to Jason? Or it doesn't matter and I need to move on?
Do we find these things out? I think you will.
Okay, so there was a reason for it. It's not just like a throwaway.
Right, we didn't bring in the kind of relationship thing to throw it away.
Well, I look at it as Emily and Maya, right? It was important for Emily's relationship. And this was kind of her first love and sexual exploration, right? So it could have stood for that. But they added in so much weirdness around that. And weirdness, what I mean by that is the ex-boyfriend phone call or ex-person she dated.
Yeah.
And talking to Jason. Like we hand over to see them visually talking to each other.
Yeah, I know. In later seasons, we do reference Maya's like past again. Okay. We'll talk about it again. Okay. But as far as like the rest of the season, no, we will not find out anything about that. And that's I don't want to give away too much.
No, that's fine. I'll accept it. It's just I had to say something because I'm like, this is weird.
I know, and I questioned if you were going to think that this was the end of her, because it seems like it could be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And like, what a shitty way to go out.
We bring her in to go to True
I'm
North.
going to go to California and leave.
We bring her back to have her leave again.
Right. There's more to the story.
And
we'll go into that eventually. Okay. So Hanna is talking to Caleb, and she's like confused about hotspots, which I thought was really funny and very 2012, because obviously now like we have hotspots on our phone and we utilize that whenever.
But it was just,
do you really?
Right. But he's like, I have a hotspot in my pocket, and she's like, well, I know you do. But,
I know.
And I was like,
blushing. Right.
Hot.
They have a lot of great sexual chemistry, so it's fun.
Yeah.
But then Garrett and company of other police officers come to the swim meet, and they ask to confiscate Caleb's laptop because apparently there was some school information on there and it led to his IP address, which he's like, impossible, but okay, I guess you can take it. And they're like, all right, so what's the password? He's like, I don't have to tell you that. Like, he knows his rights. He's like, you can take my laptop, but I don't have to tell you anything about it. So
yeah, right.
That was great. He assures Hanna, like, look, there's nothing on there. It's fine. And so Hannah's like, but what if someone did plant something on your computer? Like, I'm not worried about the files that are not on there. I'm worried about files that are put on there. So that makes you look really guilty. And he's like, oh, shit, I didn't actually think about that. So he goes onto a school computer to log into his server on his laptop. But they haven't opened his laptop, so he can't log in. But at this point, he tells her his password of all the cities he's lived in, alternating between lowercase and capital, and then it ends with 1105 exclamation. And so it's cute because it could have been just like a throwaway line, and she's like, oh, what's that about? He's like, oh, it's just good to have, numbers and punctuation, whatever. But like I said, he can't get in yet. But he's like prepping her to show her, like, this is what you do when you need to get into my computer. Yeah. So the next day, he's on the phone with the police, and he's arguing because they won't give him back his computer unless he comes down to the station and unlocks it and helps them whatever, further investigation they need. So Wilden and Garrett are there. Of course, it's like these two boneheads that are working on this case, which I'm like, if Wilden is like the detective, what does he need to be doing this for? This is pathetic.
I know.
And
it's just that the Allie case is reopened because they're missing the pages from the autopsy report. Right.
So like, what does Caleb's computer have to do with that? Nothing. That Wilden knows. Garrett might think otherwise because Garrett, is sort of involved in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And the girls think that, Garrett's probably the one who actually put these files on Caleb's computer. Like, he obviously has it out. He doesn't want anything to come out about him. And so he has to go down to the station to help them out in order to get his computer. So he goes down there and he calls Hanna quickly. He's like, I'm in a really hot spot. I need you. I need your help. And so they open the computer and Caleb logs in, and Wilden and Garrett are like so excited to get their hands on it. And they're searching around, and he's got millions of folders and files on there. And finally, Hannah's like, okay, I don't know what to do. So she pulls Spencer into the bedroom, and she's like, you need to help me. I need to break into Caleb's computer somehow. Like, this is like, it's all riding on Hanna to remember this password, which she almost does. Yeah. And at the last minute, she realizes that the 1105 is the night that her and Caleb did it for the first time. And she's like, oh, duh, with an exclamation mark. And if they get in and they see a folder that's titled Hefty. And Hannah's like, that bitch, of course they put that as the folder file name.
Right.
And they go in and they delete hundreds of files that were incriminating from whatever, school files of like, I don't even know what was on there. Some like bad shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it all goes wiped away in real time. The cops are watching the files just get deleted. I'm like, no, it looks so bad. Like, it looks so suspicious. I love this
so much. This is so damn good because they're like, you must have done something. You must have put something on, because they were like, we need to watch you log on.
Yeah.
Right?
He's like,
and
I told you I was hacked.
Right. So I must have a virus.
Yeah, he's like, I
and
did
also
not do anything.
the line of like, oh, you should check my videos out.
He's like,
straight to Garrett.
Are you sure you want me to show Wilden what's in here?
Yeah.
It was so good. He's just motherfucker,
gosh.
I'm not messing with you. Do not mess with me.
I loved this so much.
Yeah.
So much. This is great.
And Wilden also has some further alley investigation evidence where he shows Garrett that there's a photo of the girls in front of the morgue where they keep the evidence and the autopsy reports. And, he's like, we got some further, evidence, and Garrett's so excited. And so Wilden has to call down Ashley and Hanna to the station. I don't know why no one else was called down to the station.
Yeah, even Ashley asks that too. Like, how come the other moms weren't called down for question?
My eye.
It's almost like Wilden did that on purpose because of his past with Ashley.
Oh, absolutely.
He's such a dick. He's
absolutely.
like, it's been a while.
She's like, not for me.
Right. It doesn't feel like it's been that long for me.
Exactly. And so he questions her, but we don't actually see exactly what happens. And then Ashley tells her, like, you don't have to answer to him, but you sure as hell have to answer to me. What happened? Why were you in those candy stripe outfits? What were you doing in front of the morgue? And Hannah's like, it was just a prank. Like, we all put these outfits on. We dared someone to go in there. We didn't know there were files in there. Ashley's like, yeah, okay. I'm not buying that because I know when you're lying, and you're lying right now.
I thought she did a pretty good job. To me, it
too.
came off like pretty honest because she like laughed. She was like, it was a joke.
Yeah.
The way she delivered it, I thought was pretty good.
I agree. I thought
Mother's
she was
no
also
best. Mother's no
another
best.
good liar. And I was like, Ashley needs to get herself on the force.
Yes, she does.
This bitch would take no answer. She would take it. So Hanna meets Caleb outside the police station when he gets to go because, they can't hold him for anything. There's nothing on his computer, and they hug, and she's like, I can't believe that's the date that you used. And he's like, there was an exclamation, Hanna. It was just so cute.
I love it.
It was so cute. And Garrett's there, and she's like, let's make him like sweat. Let's make him look at us, like be so happy and rub it in.
And then they make out.
So great. Yeah.
It's so good.
Kate had mentioned it's funny that Hanna has given her friends such grace because it's honestly really their fault that he's in this predicament in the first place because she told them not to do it, and yet they decided to do it anyway. So I thought that was a funny comment. All right, over to Aria, who I'm still enjoying.
Me
because there's really no Ezra.
I know. I actually really
Ezra.
liked her in this episode and her whole storyline.
Me too. I really liked it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. What's happening over here? Could she be likable? Because there's no Ezra.
Yes, absolutely.
So she's still really firm on not hanging out with Holden because she doesn't know his secret. So finally he just blurts out that he's doing this form of Korean martial arts and his parents don't approve of it because, it's kind of dangerous, and he's not taking the pills that you saw. He hasn't taken them. They're just pain pills in case he needed them. So we find out that his parents wouldn't want him to do anything strenuous because he has a heart condition. And Aria is surprised to hear this when Ella tells her that.
Yeah.
Michelle's like, is it HCM?
I know. I was like Lucas Scott. And then did I say it out loud on the pod? I joked that I thought he was cage fighting like Ryan Allen.
Yeah, you did say that.
I did vocalize.
Yeah, and I was like, and to me, I was like, yes, it was doing some sort of fighting, so it just made sense to me.
It's like you watch enough teen dramas and then you're like, oh yeah, duh, this is bound to happen at some point because it happened on another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So he's like, Aria, I really need your help this weekend because I need to go to this match in order to be considered for the final match. And so Aria finally agrees because he is honest about what he's doing. And at this point, she doesn't know he has a heart condition.
Right.
So Ezra and Aria have to talk about him and the potential job offer, which we have a very brief scene of them in the car. No, they're them on the phone deciding to meet up to talk about it.
Yes.
You could just talk about it on the phone, but they want to meet up in person to talk about it. And Ezra says he has this cute little vegan French restaurant in, I guess, some part of the city that he'd love to meet her there, and they'll talk about it. And he's like, we need to make a decision, like, ASAP, because your dad's going to be sus about it.
It's interesting that Aria's not more upset about this.
Yeah. I
mean,
think she just thinks that they're going to figure it out, you know? She's a teenager. Like, she
she's
thinks,
a
like, oh, it's all going to
teenager.
work out.
Sure. She obviously knows what's going on. She recognizes it. And she does say, this is an amazing opportunity for you.
Right. But what does that mean for them?
Yeah. But she's distracted. So I think if she wasn't, she'd be more worried about her relationship.
Absolutely. Like, if there was no A, no Holden, this would be like her main
it would be priority
focus. Yeah. And it's interesting that it's not when later on she goes to see if Holden's okay at his match, and she ends up staying for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And texting Ezra like, hey, something came up, I'll explain later. And I'm like, really? You didn't I guess you wanted to avoid having to have the hard conversation, right? But also, like, you avoided hanging out with your boyfriend to go see Holden at a match?
Well, I actually didn't take it as she was avoiding the conversation with Ezra. She kind of was just like, I'll deal with that later.
Right.
I'm very concerned that Holden has a heart condition and he's doing this fighting, and this is going to happen on my watch in terms. Like, what happens if something happens to him?
Right. Good point. Good point.
Because the way, like, it acted like she was fine with not meeting up with Ezra.
She really was fine with not meeting him.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, I was really surprised, but like, I guess you're putting it into perspective where she's like, if this kid, something happens on like, my watch, that's gonna be bad news.
Yeah.
And then we have a conversation between Ella and Byron, and Ella is like, yeah, the kids are going to Philly again. He's like, they keep going there. I don't really understand why they have to go so far away. Shouldn't they come somewhere closer? And Ella makes a comment about how Byron should let the leash loose a little bit on Aria, which I don't know if I really agree.
Really? Because I really liked Ella in this episode.
No, I agree with Ella, but I'm also like, Byron's just not ready to trust Aria again. And like, while I don't like anything about Byron, you know, it would be hard for me to trust my kid after they lied to me for so long.
Sure. And also, Byron, you're a liar, right? And so it takes one to know one. Well, no, not only that, but like, he knows what it's like to go behind someone's back and keep up a facade. And I think once you have experienced that type of, you know,
power
side lifestyle, you know, or you're more aware and skeptical of someone who else could be doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So to me, I'd be like, I don't trust my kid because I was doing it.
Yeah, he has a different perspective than Ella does.
Right, and Ella's never done anything like that.
No, and she wants to trust her kid, and she doesn't want to lose her kid and push her kid away, and so she's trying to navigate it.
Right.
And then we have a scene where A leaves a letter for Byron about where Aria could possibly be, and do you trust her? Do you know what she's doing? So Byron takes the note, and he does head to the vegan restaurant and waits for potentially Aria to walk in, or someone, maybe Ezra, to walk in. And Ezra gets there first, and when he sees Byron, he immediately walks the other way. And at that point, that's when Aria's like, I can't meet up anyway. I was like, well, you know, who knows where this vegan restaurant was in distance to like the fighting place, you know?
I actually really liked this though. And not that I ever am rooting for Aria and Ezra, right? But we don't want A to win. And so A didn't win this episode. No. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I have to say, I actually thought Byron wasn't going to go because he has this talk with Aria, you know, questioning her on the night, and she's lying beautifully. It's so well done, and she's giving all the information of what she's doing with Holden. And to me, I read that as Byron being like, okay, I trust my kid. But he's still like, I can't trust my kid. And so when he gets
as you said, he has that perspective of like, well, maybe she is actually lying to my face.
So to have him go, I thought was really good. And then for him to give the phone call, I was like, suck it, Byron, even though she is lying. But in that moment, she's still lying of where they are, but they are together. Eat your words. It was really good. It was really good.
Interesting that you had that feeling towards that. Yeah, because I was just like, of course, coincidental that her and Holden are in the same room at the same time. Like, everything works out perfectly for them. But you know how frustrated I am with the Ezra Aria stuff. But I don't want it to affect Holden. So
And I think what I like about it is this wasn't the plan for the evening.
No.
And so it's just so, and like you said, yes, it's like a coincidental that this all worked out. But also, I don't know, I like just the way the events were played. So I very much enjoyed this.
Yeah. A lot of our listeners want to know, what do you think is going to happen as far as the Ezra Aria? Well, when will the parents find out? If they find out, when will it be? Will it be before the end of the season? Will we bring it into next season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember what I predicted because that's me and you guys know that. But, and also it can change week to week. I still think he is going to go and we'll see him come back.
Yeah, you said that last week.
I did, right?
You thought he might go away for a little bit. He's not going to take the job, but he'll be gone and then come back.
Right. I still feel that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where would he go? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. But he could maybe get to New Orleans. Let's say we take the job for a couple of months and really realize I hate this, and then I go back and then she's preoccupied. I just want to see her date someone else. If it is Holden or if it's not Holden, let's just create a wedge. A tiny wedge.
Totally.
Let's create some distance. And I think we've said this before. Like, we just want to see her date someone else.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
For a little while. If you're going to go back to Ezra,
yeah, let there be some tension.
Yeah. And not like because we have to sneak around in the age difference and that's inappropriate.
Right. No, we want there to be, if you guys want to really prove to the audience like you're meant to be, you're like that end game love, then show it to us. Don't just each week. It's like, I'm like, I don't even give a shit. It's the same story every single week.
Right.
Yeah. Spencer. She goes to her brother, Jason, tries to find him. We see they own like, I don't know if they're in real estate, but they own properties in town. It's like De Laurentiis Properties. Did you see the building?
I
Which
did.
I'm like,
That's I just thought that was an office.
An office space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if like his family, I'm assuming his family owns it and he works there. Yeah. Anyway, I was just like, we've never seen this, nor I don't think we ever go back to seeing that again, but interesting. So she goes to see him, and this is when we see him talking to Maya across the street, and he's like buying some fruit, like a little apple situation.
Well, as you typed in the Discord chat, he purchases organic produce. My bae. I was like, this girl right now.
I was joking, but it was just funny and random to like have him just go purchase fruit across at like a little farmer's market booth.
Also, it's what, February?
Oh yeah.
In Pennsylvania.
The fantasy. Fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah, but funny that you said about the weed situation because Britt's like, wait, is Jason like her dealer? Like, what is up with this?
That would have made sense.
It would have, but my boy's sober. He doesn't do that anymore.
He could still deal,
but
doesn't mean he has to be using.
Maybe he's.
I mean, anyway. I don't feel that way. Yeah. I know you want your boy to rise above. I'm like, no, I don't care. I got nothing in you, Jason.
You have no stakes in Jason.
Nothing.
But he does apologize for getting in between Spencer and Peter because she says, like, I haven't talked to him and I don't really care to talk to him. And he tells her that he found this box at his grandmother's house in Georgia under the floorboard. So Allie had hid stuff there too. And in there were these love letters between Peter and Jessica and like the whole story of like how the pregnancy happened and, post that. And then he found $15,000 of cash in this box.
So
what
weird.
16-year-old has $15,000?
Yeah, and then hides it in envelopes in the floorboard.
Yeah, $5,000 in each envelope.
This is very strange.
Yeah, and Jason's like, it's obvious that our dad paid Allie to keep quiet. She must have figured this out, and it sounds like something she would do. And before we have the plot of the Vivian coat, we have to wrap up the Peter stuff. So Spencer sneaks home to get a checkbook for the Jonah situation, which we'll get to. But Peter is there and he's like, I just want to talk. And so he opens up about the past. He tells Spencer that when him and Veronica were in school still, so I'm assuming law school, so maybe they were like 22 to 25-ish years old. This is me trying to like make sense of the timeline. Who the hell knows? But he made the decision to cheat on Veronica. They weren't married yet, but Jessica did end up getting pregnant. And so her and her husband moved to Georgia. Unclear when he found out that she was pregnant. It was before the move, after the move. I'm not really sure. But him and Veronica decided to get married. And I'm assuming in between the time that they were gone in Georgia to when they moved back to Rosewood, they had Melissa and Spencer. And so Spencer was about 5 when they moved back. So leading him to maybe being 12 years old, right? Because he's supposed to be 7 years older. This is me, Alyssa, doing the math.
Spencer was 5?
He says Spencer was 5 when the
I
DeLaurentis
thought Jason
moved
was
back.
5. I don't know why I thought Jason was 5 because like the first time I saw him outside was on a bike. But
Right,
I guess he could have been 12. Yeah, I mean, yes, that was very good to put all those a timeline together.
But who knows if it's right?
Who knows? It's just weird to move in right next door.
Right. And Spencer's like, why did he even come back? He goes, I never asked. And I was afraid that she would tell me the real reason. It's like, what? Because she was still in love with you, or she wanted you to have a relationship with Jason? Like, what was it? So that she could tell Veronica that you guys cheated? Like, I don't really know what he meant by that. You know?
Yeah. Right. Right.
I was afraid she was going to tell me why. What?
And he was unclear that she was pregnant or knew she was pregnant and then moved.
I think, I don't know if he knew before they moved or after, but in that time frame before they get back to Rosewood, he knew that she had the baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Spencer says, well, did you pay Allie $15,000 to keep quiet? And he's like, look, I've done some shady shit, but I've never paid anyone in that family any large amount of money like that. You have to believe me. And Spencer's like, I don't know if I do. So she tells Jason, Jason's like, nah, I don't believe it. I don't think it's true. It's so weird
because, I believed Peter.
Yeah, I believed Peter too.
Unless he's a really good liar. Is everybody a really good liar this episode?
Right?
Which trust no one. We know that trust
no one.
But in that scene, I don't know. Or if he's lying, he acted the shit out of that delivery.
And Spencer tells Jason, she's like, I think you just want someone to blame, dude. Like,
totally.
And then later he says, yeah, I do. And it's easy if it would be Peter, but maybe it's not. And I know Allie had a lot of secrets, and I don't really know what to do with that information. Like, it's really frustrating to not be so clear. Like, everything is just so wishy-washy when it comes to Allie.
Right.
Yeah. Kat says if Peter didn't give her the money, who did?
I have no idea. I have nothing good to even be entertaining to tell you a prediction like that.
Yep.
Because when we come up with this idea that, oh yeah, Allie bribed Peter, I was like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Right. Everyone would believe that because that's what would be expected.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Unless she just stole it from her grandma or something. I don't know.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then we have the plot of the girls meeting up with the man from Vivian's coat, which is a whole nother story that was building something in this episode.
Yeah.
So Aria volunteers to be the one to meet with Jonah, who is the man on the phone, with a copy of Lolita so that he can recognize her. And so the other girls are in the booth behind Aria so they could listen, obviously make sure everything's okay. And so he tells Aria that Vivian came to him where he worked, which is a store called Allegheny Cellular. And she wanted to get information for her friend Allison because Allison was receiving texts from this unknown number and they wanted to locate who it was from. So he's like, Allison or Vivian owes me a lot of money and I told her who it was, but she stiffed me. So basically you need to pay me for me to give you the information.
Right.
$2,000.
I love when Aria,
for
she grabs her bag. She's like, how much do you need?
How much can I give you? And he's like, no, it's $2,000.
Oh, you're going to give him $20?
Yeah. So he's like, until I get that money, I can't tell you the secret. So Spencer, this is when she goes home to get the checkbook for Jonah, but she can't get it because Peter distracts her. And then she talks to Jason later about the Peter situation. And then he also apologizes for jumping to conclusions. And at this point, she's like, yeah, I know Allie had a lot of secrets, but I'm kind of like unveiling some of them, and it would be great if you can loan me $2,000 for it.
But also, I love this because let's have him join the team.
Yeah, Vic's like, well, Jason join the Liar team.
Yeah, let's do this.
How fun.
Oh my gosh. We miss you, Toby.
We miss you, Toby. Come back.
Jason, come on in. We'll use your skill set. We got our hacker on board. Toby was like the brawn, right? Caleb is
the brains.
Yeah. Jason's
the funds. He's the money.
Right. Here we go. Look at this team we're building.
Right? So true. Yeah, I'd love to see some more teamwork going on between them. Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll be back with all of our good segments.
All right.
If it's a high note.
Go ahead.
But we wanted to shout out a new pledge, Ashley.
Woohoo! Hey,
welcome.
girl.
Welcome back, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
I think so. But either way, thank you for coming.
Thank you for joining us. And we'd like to shout out another person, right?
Yeah. Hey, Jillian. Thank you so much for listening over on Spotify and commenting. She's also been going through 3 Gossip Girls. So
Woohoo!
We love that. Thank you. Hey, guys, if you listen on Spotify, you can rate and review over there. So
and you can leave comments.
Absolutely. We love to read them.
That's so fun.
I know.
Another fun moment is some Lucky Leon's Ladle provided by our listener Michael. Sends us the ice cream flavor that pairs with our episode each week. We really appreciate this. It's fun. Yeah. This is Ben and Jerry's Marshmallow Sky.
Ooh.
Blue marshmallow ice cream with marshmallow swirls and gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough and chocolate chip cookie dough.
This sounds fake.
We'll have to look it up. Yo, listen up. Here's a story about some little liars that live in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything that they see is just blue. Like them. Inside and outside. And then I'll give you the real. Thank you, Michael, for that. But Spencer is upset with her parents and is trying to deal with the big family secret she has just discovered. Aria chooses to watch Holden's fight and reschedule her date with Fitz, where he was going to discuss the job offer with her. Who knows, they might have led to something more than just dinner. Looks like Fitz is once again left with a body part being blue. No, Michael, no.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. Emily's back on the swim team and doing it in the style helping the Sharks win, resulting in a celebration party with lots of blue balloons and shark cookies. At the party, we see that Emily has a girlfriend and she is so blue. Emily finds out that Maya has been getting high as a kite in the sky, marshmallow sky, and Maya's parents want to send her back to True North. Not only is this ice cream blue, it also has some cookie dough and chocolate to make it sweet, and that is the Caleb part of the episode. Hanna starts off worried about him being framed by A, but she saves the day when she realizes that the sweet, adorable Caleb included a very special date in his password. This episode was good. I give it 3 out of 5 scoops.
Nice. Very, very well done, Michael.
That was fun for me, Michael.
That was good.
That was fun. I wish we could play
I know.
Blue right now. Will we get flagged? Definitely
Probably.
Flagged.
Yes. Yeah.
But my version won't be flagged.
Good to go.
All right. So MVP and shittiest. I have to say I enjoyed many, many people in this episode. It was hard for me to pick an MVP.
I would like to give a trifecta award.
Let's do it. Yeah.
To Hanna, Caleb, Spencer. That team working together. I love it.
Me too. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
The trifecta of Haspensley.
That sounded like Simish.
I know. And after I did it, was like, oh, that did not come out of my mouth properly. Anyway, the trifecta of Hanna, Caleb, and Spencer.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
And the shittiest, I feel like everyone wants to say Maya, right?
Well, that's who I have.
I know.
I gave her the turd emoji in my phone, in my notes.
Yeah, she was pretty turdy.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. She when they brought back this character, like we really could have made something special, and they completely just ruined it for me. They ruined it.
I agree. Like, why'd you even come to the party?
I didn't feel the love.
Nope.
You know. Oh, I didn't even mention, like, Emily calls Maya to apologize, like, and Maya doesn't pick up. So that's where we leave off with the Maya situation. So, like, it was just really frustrating. It's frustrating if you love someone. You, like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Did they bring this actress back thinking she had more time, and then it turned out she didn't? Or they contracted her for X amount of episodes, and then they ran out of story? Like, what happened here? This is sloppy. Unless, again, you say it comes back in a way.
Yeah, I think what happens, like, later on in the show, this kind of, like, sets us up with something else, if you will. So I don't know if it was utilized for that purpose, or, you know, Paige coming back next episode.
Well, I thought, okay, I am very excited
in
for
with the wind,
that.
Gone with the Wind. Like, what is it? You know, it just was really sudden. Like, why? Like, literally the next episode.
I mean, I thought the fact that Emily mentioned Paige's name, I was like, oh, we're setting us up. Like, you're setting the audience up for Paige to return.
Yep.
If not next week, then the week after.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't even my secret. I just decided to throw it in there, you know?
Well, I was assuming it, so.
Okay, good.
Yay. Yeah.
So, like, knowing that Paige comes back next episode, this whole thing felt just unimportant.
It did. It really did.
When you love, like, you say I love you to someone, and you have sex with them, and this is, like, really meaningful. You're 16, 17 years old. Like, this is special. And it didn't feel that way.
No, it didn't at all.
I feel like the writers really give, as the show continues, like, with Emily and, like, love interest, like, they really give her the shit end of the stick, in my opinion.
Well, yes, and also the episode ends with A stalking Emily, like looking through the window, staring at Emily.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing we got from A.
Exactly. Yeah. A was fairly quiet besides the text, besides the note to Byron.
And then the text.
And then the text about Caleb. But
right.
Yeah, it wasn't really an A heavy episode.
No. A did not win.
No, they didn't. I wouldn't say this was cringy at all, honestly.
Same.
I loved pretty much every moment of it. There wasn't any, like, really stupid dialogue towards each other, or, like, you know, Holden's Power Ranger kick. Like, they did a good job of whoever was fighting. It looked pretty real.
Yeah, this wasn't cringy at all.
No,
actually.
I'd say it's probably like a 0.5.
Yeah.
If not a 0. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even
Can we ever give it a 0? I don't know. It's Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah. 0.5 is good. 0.5 is good.
0.5. Okay, so the episode title for next week, which is episode 21.
Yes.
Titled Breaking the Code.
Okay.
And my secret is that another student starts to receive A text messages blackmailing them.
Okay, so I think the other student is Caleb.
Okay.
Because now Caleb is involved. And I think he will tell the girls about this. And then it'll just be another one that's involved.
What do you think he's going to have to do?
Yeah.
Like, you know, A always gives an ultimatum, like, do this or I'm going to do this.
Something with Garrett, maybe? Something with... I don't know. I know I have a good feeling it will involve him, but I'm not sure what they will make him do. Maybe something against Hanna. But then he would tell Hanna. You know, if they're all open and honest with each other.
As much as they can be.
Yeah. But Paige is coming back, as you teased and I kind of felt. So I'm excited to see her. Maybe we'll just see her either in the hallway or in the locker room, even though the season's ending. It's
funny how they, like, just inserted her like she was never gone.
Right.
She's just like, oh, hey, Emily, about that time. I'm like, you were gone for so many weeks.
Right. Lucas is still gone, right?
I mean, he's not on the island, but
Right.
he's...
And Toby is still gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. Like, what
For
I'm
now.
saying is, like,
Yeah.
they're not returning yet. Or
Yeah,
Not
not next week.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of would love to see the girls. Well, actually, here's the thing. The girls don't know about Spencer and Jason.
They don't.
So she's not really going to bring him into the team yet. I think
Yeah.
she's just going to get the money from him. She's going to go to the girls and be like, hey, I came up with this money. Don't worry about it.
I got it from a relative.
Right. Right? There you go. And we'll figure out. I feel like, though, this number is going to trace back to either Jason or like Ian, or I feel like it's not going to go anywhere.
Right. Okay. So you think next week we're going to learn what Jonah has to say. They're going to pay him.
Yes.
And
I
it's
do.
not going to lead anywhere.
No, I don't think it's leading anywhere.
Okay.
And I feel that way, but also we're getting so close to the end where I feel
Mhm.
like it has to lead somewhere. But even if it leads to someone we know, it is leading somewhere. I just think it's not the right person we're looking for.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great prediction, and
Yeah.
makes sense why your
Yeah.
head would go there. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, we're gonna end the episode on an A email, which, mind you, confused me because it came in right as we were ending the Discord and we were wrapping up questions. You know, everyone was saying they were sending their questions, and the email did not come to We Are Liars. It came to Total Betty.
I thought it did because it popped up on my phone.
Yeah.
And I don't have that. I don't have We Are Liars on my phone.
Yeah, and I was perplexed when I was adding the last minute questions in and not seeing it, and then going over to Total Betty and being like, oh, it's in this email, which originally our Kate, had sent them to Total Betty. Remember?
Yes.
So why the switch up? Also, the email formatting and like the phrasing, as I'll read, seems different.
Well, that goes with the whole thought of that it's a team.
Yeah.
And there's multiple A's.
Yeah. So it says, how you doing? With a question mark. Kind of like Joey, like, how
Yeah.
you doing?
How you doing?
Or like Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
It says, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying it too. I'm just here drinking my flat white, watching you squirm and second guessing yourselves. Bless your heart, you didn't want to out me because of my job. Seriously? Did you really think I would make it so easy? Ciao, putanas. So in Italian, I was just talking about how my husband and I are going to Italy in May.
Yeah.
This 1000% is Michael. I'm sorry. I cannot get over it unless A has intel of someone outside of our Discord chat. Like someone on our Discord chat is giving outside information to someone else, aka maybe Seth.
You know who
Does
I'm
Seth
going to
know I'm
throw?
going to Italy? I don't think so.
I'm going to throw Kat in the mix.
Cat. Kitty
Okay,
cat.
so well, she could be part of the team.
Absolutely. Wait, why are you putting Cat in there?
Okay, so the origin of the flat white is unclear, but many cafe owners in Australia and New Zealand claim the invention. And Kat is from Australia, right?
Yes. But what about Chow though? Like they added the Italian.
Well, they know
at the
you're going
end.
to Italy. Kat is in the
Yes.
Discord chat.
Right. Okay. I think it's super fun. Again,
We are reaching here.
reaching.
But I also think it could be, I think it's a group of them and they're like, okay, you're up this week.
Yeah.
I want to see that group chat at the end of this if they
Me
reveal
too.
themselves.
Right. Yes. Screenshot some of the stuff.
Screenshot your creative process, how you decide who's going to type and send this week.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm so interested.
Same.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna have Serena Skyborn on our
Woo,
podcast.
I'm
Are you kidding me?
So excited.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. She was requested multiple times from our listeners, and we were
Yeah.
really fortunate enough to be able to speak with her. So if that interests you, we'll be back next week with that. And we're pretty close to the end. I know I say it every week, but for real, we're close to the end. We're going to go.
But for real.
Episode 21. There's only 25. And that's it. That's it for We Are Liars Season 2. So
that's it.
Thank you all for listening each week. Thank you for your downloads. Thank you for leaving reviews if you did that. If haven't, maybe want to do it.
Please consider.
We'll be back, as always, in your little ears.
Bye.